Don't be bitter and don't take it personal. As
And
we're getting older, we're just going different directions. And that's just a part of life. All right, I'm going to understand why my friend ain't showing up as often sometimes is because, and just be genuine in those conversations. Be real, be straightforward, and just be like, hey, this is what it is. So just like we're outgrowing them, they might be outgrowing us for one reason or another. Especially in a relationship with your partner. Your growth should not put you outside the door. That should not send you outside the door. That should not be an exit for your relationship. I want to know, have you subscribed? If you have, thank you. If you have not, let me know. You think I haven't grown enough? Welcome to Worthy Soul. And if this is not your first time, welcome back. Thank you for joining again. My name is Danya Lane. And y'all, on this life journey, as we get older, as we go do different things, as we learn new things, one thing that is not talked about enough is the fact that there are going to be people in our lives that we're going to, in a sense, outgrow. And in us outgrowing them, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't define anything about them, who they are, or what they lack or don't have, or what we do have, and things like that. It does not put us in a position of comparison. That's not what outgrowing talks is about. As we grow, you know what I mean? It just means that, we're going to know people that are going different directions in life. So just like we're outgrowing them, they might be outgrowing us for one reason or another. But in that, we have to be able to accept that that's just what's happening, accept that that's a part of life, and be able to make appropriate adjustments in that relationship so that you can accommodate your future and goals, and so that you can accommodate their future and goals as well. And that could be hard sometimes because, we always talk about day ones and all these things, and they are important. But just because they're your day one, don't mean that you could take them into every room. And just because you can't take them into every room, it does not mean that the support will be different. It just means that the experiences will be different. It just means that some things you may not have time for no more. Some things they may not have time for no more. So then we have to adjust the expectation of the relationship. And we have to be okay with those adjustments. And we have to rationalize them appropriately and not just feel like, oh, I'm doing this because whatever the crazy things that people come up with sometimes, and the crazy things that we could come up with sometimes. But we just have to say like, hey, no, like this is just not, the paths are no longer aligning. We are outgrown this one path and we are going different ways. So we are outgrowing each other in certain areas for whatever reasons. And when we do figure that out, and we do identify that, like either they're outgrowing me or I'm outgrowing them, sometimes we may have to have some hard conversations. And we have to be willing to approach those conversations from a place of understanding, of wanting to understand, a place of wanting to learn and make adjustments, and to create a new type of relationship if that is what's called for in that situation, to create new expectations, which sometimes could be, guess what, having less expectations, having more expectations, because sometimes you may outgrow people, or guess what, sometimes you may need to grow with them more, so then you have to increase certain areas. But like I said, understand and be willing to have that hard conversation, whether you're the one that is initiating it or they're initiating it. But be willing to have it, know that it's necessary for the longevity of that situation. And just be genuine in those conversations. Be real, be straightforward, and just be like, hey, this is what it is. And be willing to answer questions, explain yourself, and listen to their explanations, and be open to them. And understanding, like I said, and want to learn, like, okay, what is really going on? What is your truth? What is my truth? Let's talk about it, because as we've gotten older, as we're getting older, When it's like friends and family, like as we're getting older, we're just going different directions. And that's just a part of life. And if it's with your partner, your spouse, whoever, you know, you may outgrow each other in certain areas, but that's why that hard conversation is necessary so that you can create accommodation so that y'all can still continue to have that connection, have that relationship, build that partnership in a direction that aligns you guys together, in a direction that supports one another, and in a direction that keeps both of you guys in the forefront of that growth. So that guess what, as that person is growing in different areas, maybe your role may be a little bit different in that area for them. It may increase or decrease, but if it decreases, it does not mean that that person is outgrowing you in the sense of y'all can't be together no more. It just means that guess what? Sometimes you may have to grow with them as well. Your growth may not look the same as theirs, because your growth may just be your expectations of them, what you need from them, what you believe they should be doing, what are you expecting from them. That's where you may have to grow in and understand, like, okay, I can't have those same expectations for them because they're not doing the same thing. And vice versa. They can't have those same expectations of you because you're not doing the same thing. And with that growth though, and outgrowing one another, we just want to make sure we're outgrowing each other for good reasons. In the sense of that growth is not going to impact our ability to stay together. Like, I'm intentional about making sure that this growth still keeps you where you need to be aligned in my life. And this growth still keeps them, your growth still keeps them where they need to be aligned in your life, so that growth only advances the relationship, and it only strengthens it, and it only keeps y'all together and not bring y'all apart. Because with growth, outgrowing a person in a relationship, I believe when you outgrow a person in a relationship, that means that that person was never trying to grow in a track that would keep y'all together. Or you wasn't trying to grow in a way that tried to keep y'all together. You was trying to grow your way out the door, or they was trying to grow their way out the door. Because the person that you choose to be with, guess what? Y'all got to grow together. You know what I mean? They may choose to do different things, but the things that they choose to do should not impact the quality of your relationship in a negative way. It should not put them further to the door and out the door. It should be able to keep them in the door, and everybody should be able to have conversations of like, okay, what does this growth look like for you now? How does that impact our relationship? And if it's looking like that growth is not benefiting the relationship and it's getting them closer to being out the door, have that conversation with them and just be like, hey, what's up? Like, what, like what, I don't feel like there's no consideration for me or this relationship in the growth that you're making. Why is that? And maybe you're wrong. Maybe it's not impacting your relationship negatively, and maybe it's not going to impact the quality, and maybe they are still working to be there in that relationship, and vice versa. But that's why we have to have those hard conversations. And with those hard conversations, like I said, there's going to come a new reality to your relationship, and you have to be willing to accept that new reality and say that, hey, yes, this relationship did not look like it used to look 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 5 days ago. It don't look that way, but it's not because of nothing that I did wrong or nothing that they did wrong. It's just the reality of either we're getting older, we're doing different things, so the relationship is looking a little different. I don't have as much time, or the time looks a little different. The quality of time looks a little different, and it may just be that way for a season. But whatever it is, especially in a relationship with your partner, man, your growth should not put you outside the door. That should not send you outside the door. That should not be an exit for the relationship. That's not what it should do. It should just be a challenge of what's the next level that we doing? Where is this growth going to take our relationship? Because obviously we're outgrowing this stage of our relationship. That's the only way you should be outgrowing each other, because we're outgrowing this stage that we are in. Now we need to grow into the next stage, and that's what we're going to. And we need to make sure that that growth considers the whole relationship and just not one person in the relationship. And when it comes to friends and stuff like that, sometimes your friends are going to outgrow you for different reasons. I have a lot of friends that outgrew me at a young age because they was having babies. So I had to be understanding to the fact of our relationship going to look a little different because they got other things to do. They got responsibilities that require their time. So they can't be sitting up doing the same things they was doing with me. In some of my relationships, I outgrew some of my friends because I got married early. So I had other responsibilities that I had to take care of too that didn't allow for our relationship to look the same. So we outgrew each other in different ways, not negatively, but just growing with life, going on new journeys, dealing with the different choices that we made in our own personal lives. So we had to make sure as friends that, hey, all right, I'm gonna understand why my friend ain't showing up as often sometimes. It's because the life that was going on in their life, it does not allow them to. They're outgrowing whatever you guys used to do. I know I used to be on some friends I used to have, we used to be on the phone 24/7 when I was in college. Ain't had no man, no nothing. They ain't had no kids. I ain't had no man, none of that. So we could chop it up on the phone all day or whatever. But they got kids. I got married and things had changed. Or, I was in college. They may have been in college, may have not been. And just schedules wasn't aligning and we just wasn't able to act like we was in high school no more. We didn't have the same quality relationship that we did in high school because we had different things going on then. And that's just the fact and the reality of life is that as you grow and you go through life and you adjust and you take on new ventures and journeys and different things and you gain new responsibilities and roles and you have to steward different things, your relationships are going to look different. They're going to look different. Like I said, friendships, partnerships, relationships with your parents, all of that. Like those things are going to look different as you journey and grow and go through life and evolve and do different things. But we have to be willing to and make sure that whoever we're having this, going through this with, this growth spurts, that's usually what it is. Make sure that we're both then understanding to the circumstances of the growth, understanding to why things have changed, and have that conversation. Don't be bitter and don't take it personal. And that goes for both sides. We can't be bitter and taking it personal if we see that what's going on is just an evolution of that person, an evolution of their life, or an evolution of my life. Like, it's not nothing personal. This is just how life go. Now I got kids or now I got a spouse that I have to put my attention there. So I don't have as much time because guess what? Either I'm not your parent, so I have to take care of my responsibilities, or you're not my partner. So your expectations should not even be the way that they are in me. Anyways, I got a partner. If you don't got one, sorry. But I got one, so I have to play my role. Or if you got a partner and I don't, you got to play your role. And I have to be understanding of that and encouraging that. And they have to be understanding of that for you and encouraging you so that you can evolve and grow and meet the realities and goals of your life that you want and do the same. And that's how, when you start to outgrow your friends and your spouse in different ways like that, you learn who really for you. You learn who really, really got your back, who really want the best for you. Because they're going to understand that growth and they're going to understand that you're not outgrowing them in a bad way. You're just evolving and getting to the new levels of life that you need to go to. And maybe they're doing the same thing, but it just looks different for them. But being understanding about that is key. And know that outgrowing a person is not always negative. It's just a sign and it just shows you where they're going in life, where you're going in life, how life is changing and how you're evolving and the new things that you need to adapt to and the new realities that need to be created and having that conversation. And like I said, when you're having that conversation, be willing to explain yourself and set boundaries if necessary. Sometimes you got to be like, hey girl, bro, whatever, bro, I can't be on the phone all night no more. I got kids. I got a girl that we live together. Me and my boo thing, whatever. You feel me? Now a lot of that time that I have for you, I can no longer give to you because I got to put it over here. And if you for me and you with me and you rocking with me, you already know that's what's necessary. And you're going to encourage me and I'm going to encourage you. And we're going to hold each other accountable to make sure that we are taking care of our business in the areas that we need to. And make sure that that's that understanding. But also know that everybody won't be understanding to your growth. Everybody won't be understanding to the new roles that you have in your life. But don't let that stop you from pursuing those new roles and doing what you need to do. If you have kids or if you have a spouse, don't feel bad for not spending as much time with a friend or a family member or whatever because you're taking care of your kids or because you're taking care of your partner or doing what you need to do to keep your partnership strong. Don't do that. Don't do that. Accept that boundaries are necessary, and accept that change is inevitable, and it has to happen, and growth has to happen, and things are going to change, and growth is going to happen when you take on new roles in life. And be okay with that. Don't let, excuse me, don't let other people and their lack of understanding stop you from living out the role in life that you are trying to live and pursue, or that you want to live and pursue. Don't do it. Like, we are worth doing whatever it takes, setting whatever boundaries, having whatever conversations, explaining ourselves to the people that we do want to keep in our lives, but placing the expectation of, you need to understand this. I don't feel no type of way about you. I just know that, guess what? You can't do this right here. This is not, I can't, you know what I mean? I cannot allow you to be a hindrance for me doing this. Being a good parent, being a good spouse, being a good student, whatever it is, working hard, like whatever it is. As you grow and you take on new ventures that require your growth, the people around you have to be understanding. And as you see your friends and family members and spouses and children, whatever it is, taking on new ventures, that's you seem like they ain't got no time no more. Yeah, but you see for why? Be understanding. And if you need to have a conversation, have a conversation. And sometimes you may have to do things differently. And if you got to do things differently, hey, do them. Because growth is necessary. Growth is what we are here to do. Grow and evolve. So do it, because you are worthy of doing that. You are worthy of having your best life, living your best life. Which means you have to grow and evolve in the areas that you need to obtain the things that you after. And you already know. I want to know. Have you subscribed? If you have, thank you. If you have not, let me know. You think I haven't grown enough? Am I not evolved enough? What is it? You need a little more time? You ain't been able to pay attention? What is it? Let me know. So that we could grow and evolve together, continue. Is there some things that you want to hear about that you ain't heard about? Let me know. You ain't heard me talk about yet. Let me know. And I will see what I could do. Also, make sure that you like, share, follow me on other social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, all of that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And I hope you come back.